Combat series has made a living mixing arcade and simulation elements with its jet fighting, and Ace Combat 6 extends the record of meritorious service to the Xbox 360. The game gets a nice visual upgrade, and while it might not ignite the afterburners in everyone who plays it, a proven combat-effective design and sleek visuals give it plenty of thrust.
Enemy aircraft are pulling out!
Who does this guy think he is? No way we'd ever lose to a bunch of guys like this.
Enough already. Take him away.
You won't find this thrust in the story, though, which depicts people on both sides of a war between Imeria, a country much like the US, and Slovakia, which has a distinct Soviet flavor. Effort has clearly been put into the plot, but the cutscenes have very little to do with what you're doing in the cockpit. Rather than getting you pumped up for combat, it asks you to meditate on the war and how your actions affect the world around you. It doesn't quite mesh with the constant action of the gameplay, because you didn't enlist to hear the story of a refugee mother hitchhiking across the war-torn country trying to find her daughter. You're here to kick ass and take call signs.
We're certainly an odd pair of travel companions.
Fox 3! Lock on!
It doesn't take long at all to get into the action. Tutorials are available, but the controls are easy to get a handle on. Well, unless you bought the bundle that includes a flight stick. Once you've strapped yourself in, you're free to start taking on single-player mission by mission, or jumping into the online mode. Single-player offers a nice selection of difficulties, while multiplayer offers a few variants on modes that have a few different objectives, but always end up centering on dogfighting and missile duels. In both modes, the multi-million-dollar plane you're flying will make a big difference. But like most multiplayer flight games, a lot of the times it just turns into two jets following each other in a circle. Single-player mode features missions with multiple objectives on an actively changing battlefield, mixing up the air-to-air action with attacks on ground targets. In these cases, attack planes like the A-10 Thunderbolt or a versatile multi-role machine like the Rafale can be put to good use taking out tanks and anti-air targets. Multiplayer is another story. Though there's some advantage to striking ground targets, most players use the top 2 or 3 ships without deviation. The game is high performance online and off, but does have a few balance issues. In single player, elite enemy pilots known as Strigon flagrantly bend the laws of physics to give them a noticeable and unfair advantage in combat. Online, it can be a bit of a letdown where the heavily damaged opponent pulls a kamikaze to keep your team from gaining points for the kill. In terms of progression, you'll unlock a reasonable number of new fighters and weapons by blasting your way through the story mode and spending your hard-earned credits. Multiplayer levels things a bit by having the host set the available aircraft and level of weaponry. In terms of bonus content, you can earn medals as you rack up achievements and hunt down aces on higher difficulty levels. If you feel the need, there's plenty to keep you playing.
Careful now, the enemy has you on radar. Okay, I'm on backup. I have it! Enemy facility taken out.
So how do you ace combat? It's all about locking on, firing missiles, pulling high G turns to avoid enemy fire, and selecting the right special weapon for the job. Because the game is light on the simulation side, you'll find your plane somehow carries hundreds of missiles and is extremely difficult to stall. You've also got a competent wingman who can attack targets and give you cover when you need it. This leaves you free to pull off crazy moves and fire missiles with wild abandon to rack up tons of confirmed kills. Special weapons give you even more destructive power, typically letting you lock on to multiple targets or take out an enemy from extreme distance. Other special weapons let you do some serious damage to ground targets. When you're out, you can rely on your all-purpose missiles or head back to base to resupply. The last weapon in your arsenal is the ability to call in your allies for backup. By completing objectives, you fill up a meter which can then be cashed in for allied attack or support. An allied attack practically annihilates anything in your field of view, while support will direct considerable firepower at anyone who happens to be attacking you. Both can be used and abused in the name of justice.
Keep the pressure on. Careful now, the enemy has you on radar.
There's no question that Ace Combat 6 is a good-looking game. If you're into military hardware, or have ever described a machine as sexy, the high-fidelity plane models will definitely do it for you. The ocean looks almost as good, and the world viewed from above looks very realistic, but the closer you get to the ground, the worse it looks. While the well-produced cinema scenes may not get you as excited as the combat, the camera angles are artfully selected. The lip syncing could definitely use some work, and overall, the audio package doesn't quite hit the high level of the visuals.
Enemy radar vehicle destroyed. Knock down their defenses.
As the new entry in a long-running series, Ace Combat 6 should have no problem pleasing fans with its next-generation visuals and proven blend of the realistic and the just plain awesome. The game is accessible enough to be picked up by someone who hasn't yet earned their wings, and while the online mode isn't incredibly deep, it's a solid addition that makes the game that much more attractive. If jets aren't your thing though, it won't convince you to enroll in flight school.